third story I'd like to tell relates to his gift of tears. Carl Jung, founder of analytical psychology, said that when we weep, the salt sea of life's origins is flowing in us. That sea from which God drew forth all life. It was a way of saying that when we weep, something is flowing at the deepest of levels in our being. And in my father, these were not tears of self-pity. These were usually tears that were driven by love, allowing himself to truly feel the brokenness of the other. He mockingly would say of himself that he would weep even at the opening ceremony of a new shopping mall. The story that I'd like to remember and share is a story from my father's prime years at World Vision, when he was often away from us for long periods. This was true sacrifice. He so loved his family. He was consistently blind to any faults in his children. I mean, he was totally blind. And some of you might have experienced his response if ever you tried to point out a failing in our family. You would get an onslaught of loyalty that would make Ian Paisley's loyalty to Northern Ireland. But my father was doing some work in refugee camps related to the Cambodian killing fields. And it was his practice sometimes on these long trips to speak into a cassette tape recorder. Do you remember those? And he would record for us what he was doing, the people he was meeting. And on this one occasion, when he had been into a camp meeting many families who had lost their children, children who had lost their parents, it was his intention to go out to the car and to speak into the cassette tape recorder. And when he turned it on, he began to weep. The extraordinary thing about my father's strength of tears, was that he chose not to turn off the tape. He chose not to erase it. So that what I remember hearing as a young man were a few minutes of my father weeping. These holy tears were the very life force of his compassion and his action. If we are serious about the work of compassion, the work of healing, let us allow our tears to flow. He would so love being here in the midst of our tears. In fact, if he were here, he would think he had died and gone to heaven. Shall we commit ourselves to allowing the deepest of channels to flow? This is the channel of the one from whom we have come. These are holy tears. Let us allow them to flow, that we may be strong in the work of compassion and healing. There are many faces to God. I believe as many people as there are in the world, so are there faces. of God. As many creatures and life forms as there are. But the face that we particularly celebrate in the Christian household is the face of God as Father. In this great soul, we have been blessed. Blessed beyond measure to glimpse the face. The strong, beautiful, faithful face of God. Shall we be bearers of this face? We are made in the image of the One. Shall we consciously show our face of love as part of the healing of the world? We give thanks for this great soul. In deep grief and in unspeakable gratitude. Unspeakable gratitude.